You know how you pointed out how they mock us with names, and like you pointed out that the arch enemy of like, the United States and the world, it was Saddam Hussein. Then the next arch enemy was um, Osama. Then you had the United States President Hussein Obama. So you talked about that. You look at Kamala Harris's her father's name, Donald J. Harris. So I think they've done the same thing with Kamala Harris as well. It's a combination of Donald J. Trump and her name Harris. I'll talk about the Capitol so-called insurrection. The title of my post is "The Capitol Insurrection." The 455, that's the year 455, sack of Rome and the Goddess Code. For this Capitol insurrection and the connection to the year 455 sack of Rome, I really didn't come up with that myself. So I'd like to give credit to a member of the community, C. Chev, she calls herself. I wish she had a blog or something I could point to, but she's very brilliant. But she came up with this parallel. So events in the news are often parallels of mythological accounts or historical events. In the case of predictive programming, they can be parallel narratives to events in the future. So the so-called storming of the United States Capitol, that's what Wikipedia has as the official title, of January 6th. I made a mistake in the post there. I put January 1st. January 6th, 2020, could be an element of both, maybe predictive programming and a parallel with a historical event. For multiple reasons, it can be concluded that the United States is the new Rome, an extension of the Roman Empire. A symbol of Rome, for example, these are just a couple examples. The symbol of Rome was the eagle. A symbol of the United States is the eagle. And again, this goes back to Babylon. The symbol of Babylon was the eagle. That's where it came from, before Babylon, Sumer. The center of governance of the Roman Empire was the Roman Senate, which had its offices on Capitoline Hill. The United States Senate is located on Capitol Hill. So there are multiple examples, but these are just two of how the United States is the new Rome. So with that parallel in mind, the storming of the United States Capitol may be equated with the sack of Rome in 455. Rome was sacked like 4 times, but this looks more parallel with the 455 sack of Rome. The sack of Rome occurred on the 16th of the month. It was the 16th of June. And the 16 is 1-6, like the date, January 6th. Rome was sacked by the Vandals. The Capitol attackers have been literally described as Vandals. This is a double entendre when they call them Vandals. This is an indication to the ritual. It's a reference to the Vandals who sacked Rome, who were Germanic people. And Northern Europeans, Germanic and Norse, they were known for their distinct horned head ornaments. That is, horned helmets. The Vikings, everyone knows the image of a Viking with the horns. Well, this is it's a Germanic, form of a headdress. Well, the highest profile Capitol rioter is Jacob Chansley, who was dressed as a Germanic Vandal in his horns, animal skins, and spear. He literally was a Vandal. That's what he was portraying. And again, he's an actor. He's an actor, Jacob Chancellor, but that was the image. He's portraying the image of a Vandal. Again, a reference to the sack of Rome, which is on the 16th of the month, 1-6. So the District of Columbia and the Capitol Dome are symbols of the goddess. I've talked about the goddess symbol. This is important. You will see this more and more. A female president of the United States is imminent. But you're seeing this trend throughout the world. Females come into positions of leadership or coming into positions where were formerly male-dominated, where you didn't see female. It's all over the world. I give an example. In Greece, there's been a massive influx of female judges in the Greek judicial system. And it's not a gradual thing of females were gradually becoming judges. It was done all at once. And if you go to Ethiopia, Ethiopia decreed that half their parliament has to be women. You just saw even the Republican Party, when a Supreme Court justice opening happened, they said it would only be a woman. And it was given to Comey Barrett, just as Democrats, when the vice presidential position came up, they said it would only be a woman of color. So this is Democrats, it's Republicans, and it's around the world. So this code, everything is by this code. And we actually saw it in the NFL. Now, over the weekend, the Washington team played the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and it was noteworthy and historical because it was the first NFL playoff game in which both teams had female members of their coaching staffs. Well, I'm not going to decode that, but all the names are by this code. It's the goddess code. And this will, I can't even keep track. More and more, there are females being appointed. For example, the first ever female GM, general manager in Major League Baseball, was recently appointed, the Florida Marlins. And it's all by the same code. So there's another overarching theme to this. You could say it's a sub-ritual. The Capitol insurrection is a sub-ritual to a bigger overarching ritual. And that overarching ritual is the goddess/sacred feminine, of which Washington, D.C. is central. So an esoteric, the reason, one of the needs for such a ritual in esoteric terms could have to do with the impending ascension to the highest seat of American government of Kamala Devi Harris, the first female vice president-elect, soon to be first female vice president, and more than likely, future president of the United States. I have stressed and demonstrated often that prominent females are coded by a goddess code. The goddess code is more than abundant in the Kamala Harris narrative. The United States of America and its capital were founded with various forms of veneration of the sacred feminine in mind. The most vivid goddess symbol is the Roman goddess Venus. The Romans referred to Venus as Venus Columba. Columba means dove. That also goes back to Babylon. The dove was a symbol of the goddess Semiramis. And so Venus Columba means Venus dove. From Columba, we get Columbia, who is the patron goddess of the United States of America, after which its capital is named, the District of Columbia. The dome, a dome is an architectural representation of the sacred feminine, the dome is a form of a breast or a womb. The Capitol Dome is a goddess symbol, and the Statue of Freedom, which is unofficially the goddess Columbia, sits atop it. And we also see a parallel in the Vatican. St. Peter's Basilica has a dome, and opposite that dome, is a genuine ancient Egyptian obelisk. And we see that in Washington, D.C., where you have the dome, and opposite that is the Washington Monument, which is a mock ancient Egyptian obelisk. So again, we see the parallels with Rome. Washington, D.C. also honors the Christian sacred feminine, sitting between Virginia and Maryland, homage to Virgin Mary. The D.C. famously has a pentagram pattern in its roadmap. The pentagram is a symbol of Venus. The United States honors Venus with 50 pentagrams in its national flag. The planet Venus rules the zodiac signs of Libra and Taurus. Kamala Harris is a Libra, so she is Venus. In media articles detailing the charges against the most prominent Capitol vandals, one model of handgun was highlighted, it was mentioned. Now, I got this from Forbes magazine. This is a quote. Christopher Alberts of Maryland was charged on January 7th, 2021 with the carrying or having readily accessible on the grounds of the United States Capitol building a firearm and ammunition, specifically a Taurus G2C 9mm handgun and 9mm caliber ammunition. So the Taurus G2C 9mm was purportedly brandished by Christopher Alberts. The emphasis here is on Taurus. Again, this is a Venus reference. The ruling planet of Taurus is Venus. So in Gematria, Taurus G2C with the numeral 2 sums to 54. Just like Venus sums to 54. Just like Vandal sums to 54. Just like Capitol Hill sums to 54. U.S. Capitol Dome sums to 54. This is all Venus coding. If you do not use numerals and spell out Taurus G2C 9mm handgun, you get 152. Kamala Devi Harris sums to 152. 117 is a major code here. It's a major goddess code. In ancient Kemet/Egypt, 117 and 711 were the numbers of Aset, or Isis, who is Venus to the Romans. The Great Pyramid of Giza is built at a 11:7 ratio, base to height. Kamala Harris's election victory was called on November 7th, 11/7. We currently in power is the 117th U.S. Congress that the rioters were allegedly protesting. It's another 117. In Gematria, Capitol Hill sums to 117. The ratio of 11:7, which is 11 divided by 7, is 1.57, like 157. Taurus G2C 9mm handgun with the numerals 2 and 9 sums to 157. Now, could this be predictive programming? In astrology, Taurus is ruled by, which is ruled by Venus, is the detriment of Scorpio, which is ruled by Mars, and vice versa. They're each other's detriment. And the way the detriments work in the zodiac, if you look at the 12 zodiac signs, think of it as a pizza pie with 12 slices. The detriment is the sign directly opposite. So two signs directly opposite are each other's detriments. So directly opposite Taurus is Scorpio, or directly opposite Scorpio is Taurus. Taurus is ruled by Venus. Scorpio is ruled by Mars. They are detriments of each other. I've shown in other presentations how some deaths, many deaths, use the zodiacal detriment as the basis for those deaths. And again, remember that handgun is called Taurus. Joe Biden is a Scorpio. His demise would usher in a Kamala Harris presidency. The only gun focused on in the media is the Taurus. Could that be a hidden message? That might be a clue. I believe it is a clue. And on the issue of detriments being coded into presidential deaths, I look at the last two ex-U.S. presidents who died. Most recently, it was George H.W. Bush, and before that, it was Gerald Ford. They both died according to their zodiacal detriment. George H.W. Bush was a Gemini. The detriment of Gemini, directly opposite Gemini in the pie chart, is Sagittarius. He died on November 30th, which is Sagittarius. So George Bush was born Gemini and died in his detriment, Sagittarius. Gerald Ford was a Cancer. Directly opposite Cancer is Capricorn. And Gerald Ford was born Cancer and he died in Capricorn. So the last two ex-presidents died according to the zodiacal detriment. So now we have Joe Biden, Scorpio, who's already a little shaky, and we have this Capitol Hill ritual where they highlight a gun called Taurus. That's his detriment. Again, Venus rules Taurus and Libra, and his vice president is Venus. Zodiacally, it doesn't look good for Joe. So Nancy Pelosi is at the heart of the event as well. It was her office that was highlighted as being desecrated. Her lectern was pictured being carted off by a euphoric looter. And she is the leader of the Congress that was purportedly being protested against. With the numbers spelled out, not numerals, but spell out the numbers, Taurus G2 9mm. It sums to 326, like the date 326, March 26, which is Nancy Pelosi's birthday. This ties into the female vice president, Kamala Harris, because the first female U.S. vice presidential running mate on a major political party ticket is Geraldine Ferraro. Geraldine Ferraro died on Nancy Pelosi's 71st birthday. In Gematria, Kamala Devi Harris sums to 71. United States Capitol sums to 71. The Star Vandal, who literally is an actor, just as TV star Donald J. Trump is an actor. You alluded to that, yes, in your intro. He's an actor. So is Jacob Chansley. Well, his name, Jacob Chansley, sums to 71. Again, just like Kamala Devi Harris, 71. United States Capitol, 71. What a coincidence that Jacob Chansley is the star of the show. Now, another one of these, these are superstars, these vandals. This guy is a medal-winning Olympic swimmer for the United States. He's competed in, I think, 3 Olympics. He's a swimmer, and he's won multiple medals, gold medals included. And his name is Cleet Keller. So, yeah, I included a picture of Cleet Keller. So he's one of the celebrity vandals. And so he's interesting because his name, Cleet Keller, in Gematria, I don't have the graphic up, I'll put that up later, but his name, Cleet Keller, is 116 and 44, which matches up with vandals, 116 and 44. And if you look at this is from Twitter, this is a tweet of Cleet Keller. It was posted at 1:38 p.m., 1:38, like right off the bat, that's a Donald Trump number, if anyone be following your work. they'll know that 138 is a Donald Trump number. Also, MAGA hat is 138. So this tweet was posted at 138. Now, there's another parallel. I did some decodes last year about there's a trend of drownings and the water-related rituals, which most often involved females. And I looked at, there were major female celebrity deaths that involved drownings or they died in bathtubs. And a lot of drownings, even the ones that involve males sometimes, drownings and water symbolism in deaths, the number 42 will also show up. 42 is a major number for female. Female 42, feminine 42, lady 42, daughter 42. It's 42 is a major number for females. It shows up in a lot of water-related deaths, which are dominated by females. Last year we had Naya Rivera. She drowned, and her birthday was January 12th, which is when this story is breaking here. And you can see he's in water. He's in a pool. I brought up Mariano Rivera, who wears number 42. He's all-time great Yankee closer, Hall of Famer. You know, unanimous ballot. He wore number 42, and he had family members in Panama. And what do you think of Panama? You think of the Panama Canal. There's a water theme. His family members died in his swimming pool. So there's the swimming pool. There's the 42. The same as Rodney King, who died at age 42. His father died at age 42. His father died in a bathtub. He died in a swimming pool. So 42 in drownings and 112 are very common. I did a whole decode on that. Over here, you see those symbols. You see the water. You see the 112. And there's the 42. His name, Cleet Keller, sums to 181, which is the 42nd prime. So this is kind of interesting. It's not on the same with the... And 112 actually is relevant with Kamala Harris as well, because her mother died on the 11th of February, and that's a big Jesuit number. The Vatican gained independence on that date, 11th February. And the last female vice presidential running mate was Sarah Palin. Her birthday was 11th February. So, yeah, 112. And for some reason, drownings, 42, it's a female number. It's a number that also relates to black people. You know, so I'm seeing a lot of the themes with this Cleet Keller character. So that's kind of interesting. Those repeat themselves. So, yes, that's what I've got for today.
Well, brilliant as always, Rambo. Brilliant as always. I knew there must be some symbolism to, the media showing so much this guy in the Viking outfit. I saw that there was a story that he was at a Black Lives Matter protest earlier this year, and that had me thinking about how really it jumped off with Minnesota, and Minnesota Vikings are there, so there must be something with that too. But, yeah, brilliant work. As always, you connect the dots. And Rambo, did you see by chance what Ben found over the weekend? The simulation of the cruise missiles hitting strategic target. Well, sit tight. We'll be right back, everybody. Commercials.